Hello and welcome to Johnny's Kitchen. So I am not in the garden today, although I was earlier, and I harvested what I think is our penultimate head of radicchio. So we're at that stage in the season now where the things that we've been enjoying from, let's say, late autumn and through the winter, they're either running out or they are running to seed. So we've used quite a lot of radicchio this year, and what I thought I'd do for a change is just share one of the ways we've been enjoying that this season. So I'm going to make a pasta dish with the radicchio as the main ingredient. The other two things that for us are essential with this dish are some chili and lots of garlic. I'm going to add two other ingredients as well. They are by no means essential, but they do add something. So I've got some pancetta here. Guanciale would be even better if you can get your hands on it. And I've got one shallot, and that will be plenty. Neither of those is essential. And in fact, this can be made in a vegetarian way, and it's perfectly delicious. So I often do have some pancetta in the fridge, and I like it in this dish, but it's not essential by any means. What is essential is a nice pile of radicchio leaves, and they've got this beautiful crimson colour to them. They are slightly bitter, and of course I think most people are familiar with this, if from nowhere else then at least from sort of salad mixes. It's such a common ingredient there, where it gives a splash of colour, bit of crunch, and that slight bitter taste, which maybe it's not to everybody's taste, but I think it's quite good in the salad. But it's a really versatile veg, and you can char grill it, you can roast it, you can braise it, you can do all sorts of things with it. And it's used, I think it's fairly classic to use it for a pasta dish. I'm going to prepare this with chili and garlic, the shallot, the pancetta, and I'm going to serve it with some penne. I've got a little bit of pecorino to finish it off, and that is it. So a completely different video today. I thought I would spend a bit of time, not in the garden, but in Johnny's kitchen. So prep couldn't be easier. These are a couple of chilies from the freezer, and well, they've been sat on the board for a couple of minutes, so they do defrost quite quickly. I won't need that bit, won't need that. I'm just going to give these a rough chop. Chilies freeze really well, actually. I mean, they lose a little bit of their texture, but the flavour is preserved pretty well. So we've always got chilies to hand. Garlic, well, like the chili, garlic to taste, really. You can see we like garlic. So I'll just nip the ends off and then give them a bash. Then peel them. Which would help if I had some nails. If you prefer your garlic in small pieces, by all means chop it. I'm just going to slice it reasonably finely. I'm quite happy to have fairly large chunks of garlic. We do like it. And it's fine during lockdown. It's not like my wife is going to upset anybody in the office. She's still working from home, so nobody to complain about the amount of garlic. Lovely, that will do nicely. And then the shallot. So I'm just going to cut this, not too fine, I'm not going to fuss around. Leave the stalky end. Right, that stuff in the compost. So the final bit of the prep is just to slice through these old leaves here. I mean, really, the prep doesn't take long at all. It takes longer to wash these, and actually, I had to evict a large number of slugs. They don't like these leaves. I mean, there's no slug damage on these leaves. I don't think they like it because it's a little bit bitter. But they do seem to like hanging around in there, so I had to be very careful, break it down and wash it nicely. But I think these leaves are now vegetarian again. So I'm just going to slice through them coarsely. I don't have to be too fussy. And I'm not rinsing I'm not shaking the water off too much. I will need a little bit of that moisture when I throw them in the pan. That's just from where I washed them. So stalks and the leafy bits, it's all good. So this lot takes just about as much time to cook as the pasta. Really is very quick. So I'll get the water on the boil and we'll chuck some stuff in the pan. I must apologise for the cooker. I miss my induction hob, but it's not really compatible with an implanted cardiac device. They say it's fine, just keep at least 2 feet away. But can you imagine cooking like that with it's nonsense. So I've got a ceramic hob now, and he is a little bit slow, but you won't mind. You don't have to wait while this comes to a boil. Right, this is nearly to a boil. I will salt that. So in with the pasta, quick stir, and that is fine. So I'm just trying to get this to bother to heat up, and just a drop of olive oil. I don't need too much because the pancetta will render some fat, of course. And in with the pancetta. I don't want these to brown too much, but I do want to cook them down a little bit, render a little bit of that fat before I add anything else. I'm just starting to pick up a little bit of colour in the bottom of the pan there, so now I'm going to go in with the chilli. I get quite a sizzle off of that because they are frozen, and so they are a little bit wetter than they would normally be. And now for the shallot. Now I don't like it if the shallot isn't properly cooked. It needs to saute for a few minutes till it becomes a little bit translucent. If I go in there with a wet ingredient, it will never cook properly. Right, I think that's fine. I can now put the garlic in, lots of garlic. Now I want to be very careful. The one thing I don't want to do is brown the garlic. That becomes nasty and bitter, so I will very soon add the leaves and maybe even a splash of the pasta water already. The secret to lots of good pasta dishes is to chuck in a little bit of the pasta water. That starchy water helps emulsify things, give a nice texture to a sauce. Right, that is enough there. Right, now in with the leaves. There are a lot of these, but they will cook down to almost nothing. We'll give that a quick stir, and I want to get some seasoning in there. I'm going to be a little cautious with the salt at this stage, because the pancetta, of course, is salty. Not at all cautious with the black pepper. We do like a lot of black pepper. And that will be fine. So on with a lid, and I will let that kind of half saute, half steam in there. So from time to time, I want to take that lid off, give that a little bit of a stir. It's already starting to cook down. It's a little dry in there. I'll add a splash more pasta water, and then back on with the lid. Well, the pasta's just a couple of minutes away, and this is cooking nicely. Just going to have a little taste and then adjust the seasoning. It does want another pinch of salt there. That should be fine. And again, a bit more liquid. Only just, very barely, still got a good bite to it. So I'm going to drain that now, because I want it in that pan for a minute or two while I finish things off. Before I throw that pasta water away, I will add a little bit more to this pan while I still have it. Very often, as I'm draining it, I'll keep a cup of the water there, just in case I think I might need some more. That will be plenty, I think. So this is looking great now. In with the pasta. And a quick stir. I just want it to, oh, that was careless. Absorb a few of those flavours, and then it is ready. Now I've got some pecorino to finish this, and you could add a little bit of it into the pan right now. That will give a slightly creamier finish to the sauce. But yeah, this is just about right now. Maybe a little twist of black pepper again. And then just a little bit sorry about that. Then just a little bit of pecorino. You could use grana or parmesan, anything like that is fine. Pecorino works really nicely with this. That is a pecorino romano. To be honest, I do prefer the Sardinian or the Tuscan pecorino, but it does work nicely with that dish. Well, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to give this a bit of a try. It's really delicious. You've still got plenty of the, it's like that bitter bite from the radicchio. And actually there are quite a few Italian dishes where that bitterness is present, because of course you've got lots of pasta dishes made with cima di rapa and other brassicas that also have a little bit of bitterness to them. But this is really very pleasant indeed. Plenty of chili and lots of garlic, just how I like it. If you're not so familiar with radicchio and its various uses, and the same also for other sorts of chicory, I highly recommend giving them a try. They are best sown maybe in the latter half of summer to then crop through autumn and winter. That's their best season rather than sowing right now, but they are really delicious and surprisingly versatile. But anyway, I want to wrap this up quickly now because I want to get a glass of wine and finish off this pasta. So I hope you don't mind that I've introduced a different sort of video to the channel. I will be back in the garden for the next one, but that's all for this one. Thanks ever so much for watching, and bye for now.